This is the second highest hydraulic lift lock in the world. Located on the Trent Severn Waterway in Ontario, Canada, the Kirkfield lift lock is a vital piece of infrastructure on this 386-kilometer canal, and it suffered a mechanical malfunction. Originally constructed in 1907 and modernized in the late 60s, Parks Canada has temporarily closed the lift for necessary repairs on the North Tub. However, this massive structure has custom parts dating back more than 100 years, making this project incredibly complex. The client, Parks Canada, has called in Western Mechanical as general contractors, along with WJE as consultants. Unlike a traditional lock, hydraulic lift locks utilize two tubs, connected underground, to move boats up and down as they continue their journey along the waterway. In February of 2023, the team begins opening up the insides of this hulking behemoth so they can properly diagnose any issues.
I'm Steve Ices. I'm with Western Mechanical on the Millwright Heavy Lift Division. Currently, we're doing the concrete removal over the crossover valve to eliminate a confined space situation so they can do service on the valve. There's lots of moving parts. It's a big scope of work, which is good for us because we can tackle all of them simultaneously. Not ideal conditions for us working around here with the snow and ice and the elements, but typically like we do, we battle through it.
After a thorough analysis, the plan is now clear. The tubs need to be disconnected and a temporary pump installed so that the south side can be independently run for the summer. The north tub needs to have all 4 of its gates completely remade from scratch, as well as leveled. The north tower needs structural steel replacements. The basement needs concrete repairs. Inside, the lift lock needs a new control system for the temporary pump and a means of interfacing it with the existing control system. And several interior mechanical components need to be serviced. With everything accounted for, it's clear that this project is a massive undertaking. But Western Mechanical is made up of the best, and they're ready to get the Kirkfield lift lock fully functional again.
Well, right now we're standing in what we call the upper mechanical room. So this would be, like your main arteries of your incoming system. The original equipment and mechanical isolations were obsolete. They were extremely dated and inoperational. So Western installed some new isolations, some strainer systems to tidy everything up. We're dealing with some pretty historic stuff here and ways they used to do things back in the day. So we're adapting to their ways. So these are the existing pumps that boost the water pressure to help aid the system up and down. The pumps are old, they're tired. A lot of the piping wasn't in the best of shape, so we'd replace it, and then we can guarantee our work.
Since we arrived mid-February, the big push was to get it opened up and ripped apart so that we could see the extent of the wear and damage over the years. And pretty major scope here. We're doing civil work. We have pretty well every department Western has are on site. We have hydraulics, civil, mechanical, electrical, and the millwrights are all here doing different things. Today, we have the guys working up on the towers doing some structural steel replacement. The civil crew was down in the basement still doing some concrete work and repairing some of the deterioration in the walls from over the years. We have our mechanical guys here doing some plumbing, tying in a temporary pump to service the south tub while we finish our repairs on the north tub. And electrical is also here doing some hydraulic upgrades on the valving and tying in that new pump as well.
Operating the lift lock on a single tub is much more complicated than it appears. WJE had to tie this temporary system in without significantly modifying the existing setup, so it can be easily reverted once the repairs are completed.
The existing system is ancient. To call it a computer would be a stretch. It's so old that the drawings that they have for it don't follow modern nomenclature, so it's given us some challenges. What we've put in is a typical modern small computer-based control system.
Operating the structure on a single chamber was a much welcome option to shutting the structure down for the season.
The coordination behind getting all the different trades working together is tricky, but everybody's working together with Parks and all the different engineering companies and departments involved to kind of streamline it. It's a big weekend to get the main crossover valve back reinstalled and tied in for opening of the season on the long weekend of May. And now as Parks Canada comes back to site to open up for the season, and we just work together to get it done. It's kind of neat tying yourself to a piece of history like this, for sure.
As the crew fires on all cylinders at the lift lock, their partners, Barry Welding, have taken the original pieces back to their shop. Their job is to analyze and, where necessary, rebuild these custom parts, which includes completely remaking all 4 gates. Meanwhile, back at the lift lock, the crew is gearing up to hydraulically jack the north tub ram out of its press, allowing engineers a peek inside for the first time since it was built in 1907.
So today, July 18th, we are going to lift the ram out of the press. Since starting the project, Western Mechanical has great coordination with Parks Canada operations crews here on site. So Western Mechanical is proud to be part of this project as it is an important part of this community.
The crew spends the next few hours slowly lifting the entire north tub up, revealing the interior of the press. An engineer is then lowered alongside the press to perform an inspection.
Once our inspection's completed today, then we have to put it back down, get everything plumb and riding up the rails properly. And then we're going to start working on the seal surfaces to make sure the lower and the upper seal faces meet appropriately and be able to seal up for the tub.
From summer into fall, Western continues their work on site. And by October, they are removing the equipment they use to hold up the tub. By December, the crew is completing the concrete repairs in the basement. Meanwhile, Barry Welding is hard at work building the new gates. It's now February 2024, 1 year since Western began on site, and the crew is approaching a major milestone. The new chamber gates and torque tubes are ready to be installed.
The torque tubes are the main component that actuate the doors open and close to let the boats come in and out at the upper and lower positions. Big piece, real intricate part of the lift lock. So we put them in first, and then we put the chamber gate doors on as well. And then we're going to do a bunch of alignment and mechanical components in the mechanical rooms. Then we'll bring in the reach doors, which holds the water back in the river.
The crane rolls in and sets up. The lower torque tube is rigged up and lifted into place. Next is the upper torque tube. These lifts weigh in at 10,000 pounds each. Both torque tubes are in, and it's now time for the chamber gates. The crew carefully threads the needle as they slide the first gate into place. And now they can focus on the second gate.
chamber doors are in place now, the torque tubes are in place. Feels good. It's a big step here in the finalization process of the reassembly. Crew's been excellent. Yeah, the guys always work great together, and all the subcontractors and the crane companies, we have a fun time while we do it too.
Seeing the chamber gates back on the tub for the first time in a year serves as a substantial morale boost for the crew. But the job isn't done yet. Over the next month, Western and their partners get the chamber gates locked in. And by the end of March 2024, the crew is all set for the final installation. The upper and lower reach gates are ready. Just like the chamber gates, a crane lifts these new massive doors into place as they are installed. First up is the lower reach gate. Finally, the upper reach gate is lifted into place and installed. Western is close to finally wrapping this project up. Over the following weeks, all the components inside the mechanical rooms are reassembled. And WJE work with haste to revert the lift lock back to its original control system. The opening date of this vital piece of infrastructure is fast approaching, and any delays will have significant economic consequences.
The amount of money that it brings to the communities, the marinas, everything there, it's very important.
The crew is firing on all cylinders, and by May 2024, they are almost ready to perform their first test of the entire system.
The Kirkfield lift lock is an impressive system. It's hard to imagine the process the engineers went through back in 1900s to even think of this type of system and implement it. The complexity to get the hydraulic fluid to every location that it needs to be on this structure is immense, and the age of it. It's unusual to see hydraulic systems that are this far into their service life. I would say it's one of those engineering marvels that we now have the good fortune to carry forward. The torque tubes went in not but 6 weeks ago, and we'll be putting it into service here in a week.
Water is in both tubs, and the system is fully connected for the first time in over a year. Now it's time for the crew to perform the first fully operational lift. An outstanding success. This marks a significant milestone for the project. After all their hard work, the crew can breathe a sigh of relief as the lift lock flawlessly operates in both directions.
This is pretty amazing, and the simple nature of using the upstream water to bring the other chamber up and then a control system to control that, it's just amazing. You've made it to the finish line. We've all worked hard on this, and it's gratifying and exciting.
Stress is pretty well gone. They've relieved that, and to see it going back normal again, and these boats are going to be really happy this summer to be coming up and just going through it again.
All that's left for Western is minor cleanups on site. But right now, the Kirkfield lift lock is officially open on time for the 2024 season.
Today's day one, opening day of the 2024 Trent Severn season, and ready to go.
Can't say enough about the crew, the guys, right from the foreman down to the crew, the first-year apprentices, together with Parks Canada and the engineering companies to work together to get it all done. Barry Welding making all the components, and we're really happy with the way things turned out. It's the most gratifying thing, being able to work as a team with everybody and get a good result at the end. She is open for business.
From its mechanical malfunction in 2022 to its reopening in 2024, this was a project unlike any other. Unforeseen challenges, repairing parts that are more than 100 years old, and the manufacturing of the new gates made this an undertaking of epic proportions. But projects like this are right in Western Mechanical's wheelhouse. And thanks to the crew, the Kirkfield lift lock will continue to service the Trent Severn waterway decades into the future.